Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Hello, everyone who wanna learn more about modern tendency, how to grow, how to get results, how to sell, market your products. Welcome, because today we are going to discuss more about that, how we can get a real story, how to manage multi-million dollar company and get great results with Alisa Sparks. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you doing today?
Yeah, doing great. When I can feel that I can learn something new, I always feel great. So, looking forward to learn more about that, especially um, everything is going fast today, especially with AI. We need to find a way how to adapt, how to get great results, how to get sales differently because some approaches don't work. And we need to adapt and think about new ideas. Alisa, before we start, just tell more about your sales experience, background. I checked your LinkedIn. You have a great company, great story. So please share with my audience.
Absolutely. So, my background is actually in finance. Before I became an entrepreneur, I spent over a decade in budget management, accounting, that sort of realm of the world, and decided to make a massive pivot in my career into a creative industry and started an interior design and home staging company. That today is now a franchise. So we have 20 locations across the country and are having a great time servicing our ideal clients and providing them value every chance we can.
Awesome, that's cool. I started in finance as well. Then even created my first company that was financial company that worked well. But in 2008, when the world crisis came, it destroyed everything. All my investments. I even got a lot of loans at the time because I decided to grow, to build multi-billion dollar company. I was young. I didn't have enough experience, and I didn't know that it doesn't. If you have good days today, it doesn't mean that you can have them tomorrow. So when the crisis became, I lost everything even more. I got a lot of loans, and I worked like 5 years to get all of them back. So that was tough, but I got experience that you don't need to go all in. So yeah. Uh, Alisa, can you tell more about your story? How you started this company? Where you find these ideas? Who motivated you to go in this direction?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was in my finance career, I always had this creative itch. And so I'd find myself, working my 9 to 5. And then in the evenings, I would renovate houses. I'd find the ugliest house possible. And I'd walk into it and I fall in love because I saw what it could be, not what it actually was. So we'd put 2 years of hard work into it. And once it was beautiful, I was like, well, that's done. So I'd sell it and do it all over again. Or I'd be building furniture in my garage just because I had a cool idea and wanted to make it come to fruition. And so there was always this element of me doing something creative. And I loved interior design, but I didn't have an interior design degree. So I thought there's no way I could be a designer. And as I was kind of exploring the idea of maybe I wanted to branch out and have my own business, the big question was, what do I do? And at the time, we were selling a house we had renovated. And the feedback we were getting in our showings was that the staging was really good, but it wasn't staging. It was just the furniture I had collected over the years. And it was this aha moment for me that maybe I could actually use staging as a potential business opportunity because you don't need a degree or a certification necessarily
Of
to stage
course,
houses. And so that
100%.
really
Yeah.
and so that really started my journey for me of maybe this could be something. I am a little conservative in my decision making. And so I didn't just like quit my job and then jump all in. I decided to take my vacation time on Fridays and I would go and knock doors and try to get in front of our ideal clients to see if there actually was market opportunity, to see if somebody would say yes, to see if someone was interested, and to make sure I really liked the idea of doing this every day. And about 4 months into that process, I kind of hit this crossroad where we were starting to drum up so much business that I had to make the decision of either jumping into the business full time or deciding to stick with my, safe 9 to 5 position. And I decided to make the jump at that point in time. And it's been growth ever since that of building a team, training them through it so that I could really focus on the client and the customer experience.
Awesome, awesome. I think like passion is more important than any skills. I remember when, for example, if I get two people, someone can show me high degree, a lot of papers, I don't know, certificates. and someone who doesn't show anything but can show real practice, passion, and willingness to get results, I always hire the second person. I don't care about degree. I never check out that. I remember when I got a few candidates, and all of them showed me a lot of certificates, and that was project about Instagram, how to grow Instagram. And one girl showed me accounts that she promoted, but she couldn't show me any paper, any degree, nothing. But when I check Instagram, I got it. I need her because she showed real practice, real results. Alisa, can you tell more about your methods to build the team, how you hire these people, how you choose who is the right person, and yeah, how to especially you mentioned about training and teaching them, so it's very important because I see when people teach someone who doesn't want to be taught or for example when someone can share some skills but without practice, without real execution, it doesn't give good results. So can you tell about your methods?
Yeah, I will say my hiring and training journey on day one as an entrepreneur is very different than it is today. I started as a business owner not knowing what I was doing. So my very first hire, ironically, was my nanny's mother, who was just like, "Hey, you do really fun stuff designing in spaces. I'd love to help you if you need help." And I was like, she said yes to me, so we're going to bring her on board. Never did I hold an interview, never did I ask other questions. And I got lucky. She was a fantastic resource for me. But then even in that season, we scaled really quickly of now we need to hire our first employee. And all of a sudden, I was responsible for the interviewing process. And there's a lot of not knowing what you need to know when you're hiring for new roles and new positions. You might think, I'm hiring a designer, for example, so I need to hire somebody that has a good eye, that understands spatial planning. But there were so many skills within that job that, like good customer service, that were really necessary that I had no idea I was really looking for. And so one thing I would say is as you're building your business, give yourself grace because the reality is you're going to do the best you can hiring for a role, but there's a lot that you're not going to necessarily know on day one. The other big piece is I think it's beneficial oftentimes if you're hiring for a totally new position you've never hired for before to do 10, 20 interviews. And that might sound excessive, but it's a learning experience for you to better understand who the individuals are that are qualified for that role, how they speak, how they think about problems, what their day-to-day looks like, so that you can better determine who a good fit would be for your organization. So once we brought that first hire in, the training process really fell along a lot of side-by-side working together. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, it doesn't matter how much you say something until somebody is doing it and has done it a few times. That's where the learning really happens. And so the more on-the-job training, side-by-side coaching of let me do this, you watch, and you better understand and ask questions. Now you do it. And I'm going to provide instant feedback in those moments until they kind of get to a place of going, now I'm on my own and I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Yeah, I like the process. You mentioned in the beginning about that you can go to the customers' doors to speak to them. I think it's like an old approach, but I know
Yeah.
the best experts usually use it. I mean, like, I check many case studies and CEOs, founders of companies. When they go directly to the customer door, they don't learn from online studies about average data, possible customer persona. They go to speak directly and get the right data. Can you tell your methods? I mean, like how you can knock to this door and ask all these questions?
Yeah, it's so interesting. We live in a world now with AI and email and internet that it's very easy to put together marketing strategies and kind of like blast the whole world, which is beautiful as a business owner. But the disadvantage is I'm competing against every other business owner in the world that's doing the same thing. And so it's not uncommon for a potential client to feel inundated with a number of options and to sort of default to just like delete that email, ignore that voicemail because they're getting it all the time. And so for me, I really paused and thought about that. And I asked the question of, I'm trying to go after really busy real estate agents or builders that are typically not physically at their office. They are hustlers. They are hardworking. They are juggling 1,000 things. And so how do I actually capture their attention? They may not respond back to emails that I'm sending. They may not respond back to phone calls. But if there's a chance that I can see them face to face at some point in time and build a relationship, I think that that's where the potential comes. And so the next challenge in that concept is if I go to their office, they're probably not there. If they're doing their job right, they're offsite meeting with clients or walking a build or doing something like that. And so I thought, how do I get them to pick up the phone and call me? And that's when I started doing research and better understanding the value of gift giving. And so I would put together these little care packages for our prospects and deliver each one hand by hand. And they were over the top, a little overdone gift packages of like, this is who we are. We're new to the area. Just wanted to say hello and hope you enjoy, the goodies. And something very interesting happened. The people started calling me back. And I thought, well, that's interesting and unique. And that was really how I started Linden Creek. Now, fast forward to today, every time we open a new location, we take that same sort of strategy. We find that they connect with us, but we kind of take it a further approach. We actually give 7 gifts over a 7-week period. And as crazy as that might sound, what we find is when we give gift number 1, usually it's crickets. Gift number 2, still crickets. Week 3 and 4, maybe some people start coming out of the woodwork and they're like, okay, you're giving me all these things, like tell me your story. But usually by week 7, the large majority of these people that we're trying to get in front of are so curious about the consistency and the persistence that they can't help but pick up the phone and go, let's grab coffee. Let me better understand you. And that's the moment that gets exciting because it gives you a chance to be in front of your client and you get to directly ask them the questions. This isn't the chance to sell your services or pitch why you're valuable. This is the chance to go, let me understand you, dear customer. Where are your pains? What's keeping you up at night? How could you be more successful and how can I help you do that? And when you shift the conversation around adding value and around them instead of all about me, and what I'm providing, their perception changes and they appreciate the fact that you want to be a asset in their growth, in their journey as well.
I love it. Love it, really love it. Because Alisa, I can explain why. Because everything what you shared by now, it's like real marketing. It's not about thinking about what you want to get. You need to think what customers want to get. So you need to think about how to bring this value. And you don't need to sell products. You need to sell solutions to their pain points, problems. So I often see when companies are selling products, they don't care about customers. They just tell, oh, we are great. Who cares you are great? Nobody cares about you. Everyone is great, is thinking about themselves. So 100%, I love it. Alisa, let's talk about something that all my audience is asking every single day about AI. So everything that you mentioned, it's not AI. It's real building connections to talk with people, to get data from them. But how you use AI, to improve the process?
Yeah, absolutely. We love the fact that we can differentiate ourselves and not be AI and be the human element, but we use AI to help make us better. So you brought up the great point of no one cares about you as a business or your service. They care about themselves. And so one of the things that we always think about anytime we're creating marketing copy or a new ad, or we're even thinking about how we would want to handle a conversation with a client, we love using AI to sort of spur on those ideas. And so we might say, hey, the approach is, I want to send a message to a client about XYZ. We'll put it in AI and we'll say, how do I reframe this in a way that I'm thinking client first, that I'm putting them first in that conversation? And so helping us reframe the way we speak is beneficial. The other thing that's really interesting is because we are also inundated with marketing efforts that are happening all over the place, and there's social media that moves so quickly, our brains don't like to work. And so they will automatically gravitate towards the thing that is easiest to digest and understand. And so from a marketing standpoint, 20 years ago, it was if you wanted to be an established company and brand, you had to speak in an established professional way. Well, today, people don't want to have to have their brain work that hard because they're getting so much information in. They need it precise and they need it simple. And so we find that if we write at a 5th grade level, as crazy as that sounds, even being a luxury brand, if we communicate at a 5th grade level and simplify things, our messaging gets received much better. Not to say that our audience is at a 5th grade level. They're very intelligent people, but they're busy people that need things fed to them quickly and conveniently. And so we love using AI to say, hey, this is the messaging I want to provide, but how do I say this at a simplified level? How do I bring in a story that can really accelerate the messaging that I'm trying to get it off? And so that's where we like to use it, is to help us in these brainstorming sessions of like, let me create the idea and the concept, but refining and tweaking that copy, refining and tweaking that conversation in a way that's going to really target my audience in the proper way. That's where AI is so beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like when ChatGPT was released, I even used AI before ChatGPT, but since then I started to use AI a lot for editing, and I stopped cooperating with many editors. So I had a bunch of good editors. I really don't know how they work now. Probably they can find another job, but for now, AI can edit. I mean, like I can write some not good text, but I don't care about grammar. I don't care about structure. I don't care about many things. I just want to bring value. Then AI can do the rest job for people: readability, simplicity, many things. So yeah, 100%. I like it. Alisa, you share a lot of things. Can you tell about your time management? I mean, like, you need to go to customers, to speak to them, to spend time with them, to improve your products, to work on that. So tell about your working day and time management.
Yeah, absolutely. I think time management is a practice that you have to reflect on regularly. And what I do in my day-to-day today is different than what I needed to do in my day-to-day 3 years ago, even. So one thing that I love to do is a time audit. So I will do a reflection once a quarter if possible and look at my last week of work. And I will record every 15 minutes what I'm doing. And what's really interesting is at the end of the week, when you go and you reflect on your week, you realize, one, you're not as efficient as you thought every time. There are things that you're doing that are a distraction or a way that you could be doing it better. And then it also gives me an opportunity to say, what are some things that I'm doing right now that I could potentially delegate to somebody else on my team to free up time and capacity? And so I love using that as an opportunity to really reflect on what I'm doing, but then taking it a step further. I was introduced to this concept called maker manager model from Alex and Layla Hermosi. And basically the concept around it is some jobs are maker jobs, meaning you have to be creative, you have to be innovative. And if you're building and creating something, if you get interrupted, it's like a 40% cost to be able to reset your brain and get back to the thought process and the creativity you had. And so time blocking for that creative space and keeping the rest of the world out is so important. Most of the time, if you close out your email and you put your phone on do not disturb for an hour, nothing's going to break. You could have been in a meeting during that hour, but if you do that during your creative time, it's amazing how much more you get accomplished. And so I love time blocking my days for that sort of intent. And then there's also manager time is the other piece of it. So that's your time that you're meeting and connecting with your team. And I always love evaluating that. Do I need an hour-long meeting? Can this be consolidated to 30 minutes? Is there some reporting metrics we can include throughout the week that'll streamline and simplify our days so that we can kind of jam pack that calendar with as much efficient and productive work as possible? And again, it's a moving target. Every quarter that looks a little bit different and gets adjusted and tweaked, but that gives you the capacity to be thoughtful. So when you're going door to door and you're selling, maybe Tuesday is your selling day, and map out ahead of time. I want to hit these 10 different addresses. What's the most efficient way to actually go about doing that? What makes sense and how do we do that? And then your mind is in that relationship building kind of focused effort on that day as well.
Love it. That's awesome. So I need to learn from you because it's a big struggle for me, with this time management. Many things to do, 100 things. I try to focus to choose priorities, but I still have many things that I need to do in one single day. But that's okay. That's part of the job. Alisa, you're very passionate about this job. If I need such service, I will definitely cooperate with you. And recommend to anyone to cooperate with you. But can you tell more about, when you share all your approaches about your business model, about your marketing, you remind me of Jeff Bezos, because he said one thing, that many companies are competitors oriented, but Amazon is customers oriented. So can you tell, I can feel that you are customers oriented, not competitors oriented, but anyway, can you tell more about that? I mean, like, you pay attention to customers and skip competitors, or learn from them as well?
I think when you focus on the customer, you get more value than you do from your competitors. If I watch what my competitor is doing, that doesn't mean they have a pulse on the market. We have 4 core values at Linden Creek, but one of them is customer obsessed. So not just, yes, we serve our customers, but do you know about the details of who they are? Are their kids in soccer? Did they have a game on Saturday? Did you ask them about it? But again, going back to what I said before, one of my favorite things to always ask and think about is like, what is the thing that keeps you up at night? And when we serve specifically real estate agents, for example, there have been seasons in my business where I would talk to a real estate agent and, we're having a meeting about a project and I pause and I go, how is life? How is your world? Like, how is the market? How are you handling? And they all looked at me with like deers in the headlight kind of eyes. And they'd go, I haven't showered in 3 days. I'm not sleeping. I can't see straight. This market is crazy and that's good, but I can't function. And I know in that season that like my job and my goal is to make it as efficient as possible and take as much responsibility off of them as possible to make their job easier. Now, today's market is different. People are just dying to get listings. The market is getting a little bit softer. And so now I'm in this season of like, how do we set you, dear real estate agent that I'm working with, apart so that you get your next listing? But when you really just stop to listen and hear their feedback, it's amazing how much you can learn about how you can provide better service. And they bring on concepts and ideas to you that you maybe never thought about. It's easy for me to get in my own way and be in the weeds and think about the operations in my warehouse or the logistics or the details. But when you stop and you realize if you're in business, it's to serve somebody else. And if you hyper focus on serving that somebody else, it also changes your motivation. It reframes your thinking. It gives you a different level of gratitude for your client. And they unlock oftentimes the secrets of what they really need so that you as a business can happen to be successful too.
Awesome. Yeah. Nice. Great advice. So I need to listen this episode again, because we have short memory. I have very short memory. I mean, like, I can forget about important things very fast, but I need to listen again. Yeah, Alisa. Okay, let's talk about long playing strategies. I mean, like, I often see when companies just create short strategies, but forget about the future. So we need to invest to innovation, to think how to develop big companies. So can you tell about your long playing strategy?
Yeah, I think long-term planning is so important. So my husband works for our organization as well. I'm the CEO and he's the COO. And it's interesting. When we first started working together, we had 2 very different approaches at how we kind of saw the business and managed it. And I remember there was this weekend, we were like on a romantic weekend getaway at the beach. We're walking on the beach on a Saturday morning, holding hands, talking about work because we just love it. And so we're talking about the business and I just kept saying, where are we going to be in 10 years? How is AI going to impact our industry so we can have the foresight to see what's happening? And he just was getting a little frustrated. And he's like, who cares about 10 years from now? Let's talk about our projections in the next 30 days. Because if we don't hit those, you don't have a business in 10 years. Yeah. And I'm going, who cares about the next 30 days? If we don't have a plan for 10 years from now, like, we're in trouble. And so by the end of our walk, we're like not holding hands anymore. We're exasperated with each other. I think he's looking at me going, this crazy person. I'm looking at him going, I don't know that this is going to work. Like, we have very different perspectives on how the business should be run. And so as we're kind of troubleshooting through this, a book was recommended to us called Rocket Fuel. And the concept around rocket fuel is that every business needs a visionary. It needs the crazy person with all the ideas that says, this is where we're going to be in 10 years. And this is how we are going to, outcompete our competition. This is how we're going to deliver something unique. And then it needs an integrator, which happens to be my husband, who says, okay, crazy visionary that has these ideas, let me pick 1 or 2 of them. And then we're going to actually make them happen. We're going to bring them to the team. We're going to relate them. We're going to create and develop the metrics to allow that to happen. And when when you have both, it is essential. And once we realized that both of our kind of perceptions on how we manage a business were so crucial, we've ever since like loved the collaboration. So I get the fun job of dreaming of where we're going to be in 10 years. And I really thoroughly enjoy that. I think it's crucial if you are being the visionary and you're thinking about the future, that you step away from your specific day-to-day and just get a breath of fresh air and understand what's happening in the world holistically. Where is technology going, not just in your industry, but in other industries? What trends are you seeing and finding? What common patterns are happening? What are other business owners doing in totally different industries? And could those be adopted in your own industry? It gives you a chance to get exposed to what's happening and then dream of something big and unique. And if you're creating and inventing that new idea that's going to set you apart from everybody else, that's where the success really lies. And so I love doing that. I love learning from other business owners. I love hearing other aspects of things that are working for people or aspects that aren't. I love understanding and learning about AI and knowing where that's going to go. And I might have a crazy wild 10-year plan for who we're going to be. We're probably not going to be that in 10 years. It's going to change over these next 10 years and evolve, and that's okay. But you need some sort of North Star that says, this is how we're going to plan and prepare. And then from there, bring it down to the team and execute it.
Awesome. I think you love the process. I mean, like, for me, it's the most important element.
Yes.
When you enjoy the process, when you love everything what you do, because 75% of people hate their jobs. It's a lot. I mean, like, people started some jobs because of money, quick money, fast results, but rewards are nothing. I mean, like, okay, you can get reward, you can enjoy a few days, but then things become regular. When you enjoy the process, you always happy. I mean, it's the most important. Okay, Alisa, I want to ask some controversial questions.
Okay.
Probably not controversial, but we have different opinions. So when ChatGPT was released, many experts say, no, AI can't compete with humans. It's impossible. Just low quality, hallucination, many things. But in the last 6 months, when I spoke with many experts, many great experts can admit AI can write better than them. Much better. Real big names, journalists, bloggers, they can admit AI can do this job real quality job. So I play a lot with AI. And for example, I even created the entire website by using AI without designer, without developer, without content manager, without even having some great skills about hosting server. I did it everything with AI and real good quality website. So I think like AI today, I like the quote from Elon Musk, and he said, AI is not helping people, AI is replacing them. So because most people can say, no, AI just assists people, but he said, no, AI can replace them. And we can see that big tech companies laid off 65,000 people in 2025. Amazon fired 16,000 people like a few weeks ago because of AI. So things are going fast. So I think in your industry, you can have this competition as well, because I can go to ChatGPT and ask, please help me with this design. So can you tell how you are going to compete with AI, and what do you think about the quality?
I apologize.
No worries, yeah.
So I think, for me, one of the biggest things with AI is, yes, it's going to replace people. But if you are a manager that understands how to manage people properly, you now are managing AI. And so it really is going to amplify the people that are most important, which I absolutely love that aspect of it.
Yeah, because I mean, like, what I can see with AI today, it's a great tool, and I think like all human beings can become AI drivers, or I don't know, AI, because it's a good machine, but machine still needs a driver. So who can use this tool? And Alisa, I have my final question, very important question for my audience, because I have a lot of youngsters who wanna start own businesses, who wanna start working in some places, who have passion, but they don't know what to do, where to start. Can you for example, I mean, like you started before AI. You started when the world was different, but today we have AI. And let's imagine you started today. Forget about all your experience. You never spoke with any customer. You never came to them. You never use AI. You just have this passion that you have by now. So you have this energy. So what will you do if you do everything from scratch today?
If I were to start over today and do everything from scratch, I think the biggest opportunity that I see right now is actually around implementing AI into other businesses. So I will openly say, as a business owner that now has a large team and a busy schedule, I wish AI was a bigger part of my business. I know that I am missing opportunities because I don't have the capacity to deep dive and integrate and implement. And so I think, if you're looking for something to do, helping businesses integrate AI into their world and streamline it is a great first step. And the reason I say that is twofold. One, there's a massive market opportunity and people are looking for that resource. But the second reason is that's going to now give you exposure to all sorts of unique industries and business opportunities where you might get more clarity and go, hey, I started implementing AI, but I learned more about XYZ business model, and that excites me. And so you can pivot your business or explore something different, but it's a chance for you to get to know and network and build your relationships, and then get exposure to so many different industries during that process.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Alisa, it's a big pleasure to get my show, to learn from you. I love this experience. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram at Linden Creek _, or check me out on Instagram as well at Alisa _Sparks_.
Awesome, guys. You can find the link in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again, Alisa. I like your style to share all the stories, and you're a real practitioner, passion practitioner, because I know many people just tell about something that everyone can find, but when you have real practice, it's quite different. So you can learn from Alisa, you can learn from me, from anybody else, but execute, try it, fail. Even if you fail many times, it's okay. Just learn from failure. I keep failing every single day, many times, but I keep learning. I'm going ahead. Okay, guys, love you. See you.